How good was Adolf Hitler at chess? Today we have a very special video and we're going to be going over a game that was played between Adolf Hitler and Vladimir Lenin. Yes, you heard that right. The game was reportedly played in Vienna 1909. And there are some doubts over the authenticity of this game. There was actually a painting drew of Adolf Hitler and Vladimir Lenin playing a chess game, and lots of people have said this game existed. However, some are quite skeptical. Anyway, we're just going to take it how it is and we're just going to go over it. So today we're going to be looking at it from the white pieces today, and Vladimir Lenin is commanding the white pieces. He was the head of the Soviet Union for, I believe, 2 years, and the head of Soviet Russia for a couple more years. And with the black pieces, we have Adolf Hitler. So Vladimir...
I'm sorry, why would Vladimir Lenin play with Adolf Hitler in 1909 when Adolf Hitler was literally a nobody? Like, literally a nobody. 10 years old. Wait, how old was he actually? He must have been very, very young. Because he fought as a fucking teenager in World War I, right? He was 20. Okay. Yeah, there's no way he was playing.
Vladimir Lenin opens up with e4. I like to say the best way to start the game. However, that may divide some of you. a6 was played. This is known as the St. George defense. And before you think, okay, this is just going to be a silly game, the game's actually very good, and this is all theory, as you'll see, and it transposes into a very mainline opening. You now see the move d4 and now b5, and you might be wondering, what on earth is Hitler doing here? But after d4 and b5, we're going to perfectly transpose into a normal opening. Hitler's just ready to fianchetto his light squared bishop and apply pressure to the center, not with his pawns, but from a distance with his bishops. Knight f3, Lenin continues his development. We now see the move e6. So we've actually already transposed into a French defense, the St. George's variation. As in the French defense, black goes e6 and d4, bishop d3. So Vladimir Lenin developing his pieces very nicely, ready to castle his king side, playing very principled, just Russian style really. The Russians like to play very principled, so just playing typical Soviet chess. We now see the move c5. So Hitler strikes in the center. As in chess, you cannot really allow your opponent to just dominate the center. So at some point you have to fight for the center, as it is the most important part of the board. These four squares, very important. He who controls the center controls the game. So Vladimir Lenin here has to make a choice. If he castles his king side, Hitler can play the move c4, and Hitler has very nice queen side play, and will be able to expand on the queen side and create some problems. So the threat of c4 is real. So here white can play something like c3 just to slip this bishop back to c2, so it can stay on this nice diagonal. Or white can just take on c5, and this is what was played in the game. And now Hitler takes back this pawn on c5. He's developed these pieces now while capturing back. And Vladimir Lenin says, you know what, I'm going to castle my king, as king safety is the #1 principle in chess. If you lose your king, you simply lose the game. And now Hitler says, you know what, I'm going to develop this bishop to this nice b7 square, as it now applies pressure to this e4 square. So as you see, Hitler is attacking the center just from a bit of a distance here. Queen e2. If the center's ever opened, then he can always slide a rook to d1 and put this rook on the same line as this queen. And now Hitler plays probably his first bad move. You would expect a bad move, because so far they've been playing kind of mainline theory, playing really well. And Hitler plays the move queen b6, and this move doesn't really do anything, because this pawn here is very well defended, as you see from this queen and this rook. But in this instance, as you see, Hitler's kind of just neglected the development of his own pieces. What he really wants to be doing here is kind of just castling his king, getting his pieces to safety, and then after his pieces are all developed, his minor pieces, knights and bishops, then he can move his queen. But he's kind of moved it prematurely here. So Starling takes great advantage of this move and really shows his understanding of the game, and plays the move a4. And to those of you who haven't played much chess or don't know too much about the game, you might be wondering, how is this a good move? Because here white is attacking black structure. Remember, on the first two moves, moves, Hitler wasted time creating this structure, and now it's coming under attack because ba4 was played in the game, and now Lenin plays the very nice move, knight c3. So he's already threatening to take on a4, and notice how his pawn is now isolated. There's no pawns in the adjacent files. So after knight c3, Hitler plays the move a3. He knows he's in trouble here, and he's already up a pawn, remember, as he took this. So he decides to kind of sacrifice it here. We now see ba3. Checkmate him with queen g6. That would be an absolute KO. So after queen f7, check, Hitler surrendered and blew himself into the oblivion. So very nice game by Vladimir Lenin.
Yeah, I very much doubt. I very much doubt.